In Madagascar and the DRC. I'm joined in studio by Advocate Sipho Mantula, researcher at the Institute for Dispute Resolution in Africa at the University of South Africa. Advocate, thank you so much for joining us on The Globe and a very good evening. Now, elections are taking place tomorrow. Incumbent president and former president, you know, it's a very interesting time. And these elections, I remember the last time we had a discussion about it was the fact that it's not really known what's going on in Madagascar.
That's quite true. Evening, my sister, and to the viewers, Jumbo Africa. We are calling it the three presidents, the three crises. As you have said earlier, the last president, Heri Raujauna Mamampianana, it's a very long surname.
It's a very long surname.
Ravalomanana was exiled in this country. Rajolina DJ. And it is quite true about the media again, coverage of the islands.
Why is that the case?
The only story that I've picked up this evening was around poverty, was around climate, environmental issues. But I think they are not only picking it up because tomorrow it is the eve of the runoff. And these are the two critical candidates whom were not involved in the 2013 elections. They were banned by the electoral law. Interestingly, Rajolina was a mayor when he took over Ravalomanana in 2009. Now, the wife of Ravalomanana is the mayor of the capital city. The second aspect about these elections is that counting in that country, it is done openly. It is a public counting. And I think that's where the SADC laws and the AU have not changed in terms of understanding. So the key challenge of these elections will be around if there is a tight neck-to-neck that might plunge that country back into the conflict.
Now, we've seen that, I mean, 35.35%, and, you know, this is very, very
close.
Yes. Now, going forward, what would be the best solution for the Madagascar and the people of Madagascar?
You know, if you look at these two candidates, one, Rajolina, his party is called the Young Determined Malagasy. The other one, Ravalomanana, he says, Toeka I Madagascar, I love Madagascar. So you find that there is this issue around commitment to rebuild that island, and as well as to deal with the issues of governance. And one will say that the government of national unity has been the panacea or the remedy in most African conflicts or African post-elections. But I don't think that Rajolina will accept the daddy to rule back again, because he's calling Ravalomanana, daddy is back again. And then Ravalomanana is calling the young man that DJ is back in town to come and juggle again. So you find that it is the issue around of understanding the age limit, the intergenerational gap. But as well as what should happen, I think SADC, South Africa has a key role in that country. And interestingly, you have the soccer team living here, going there to go and play.
On the weekend.
Yeah, going there. And now you might find that during this time, talk of election emergency. It's a political emergency now. Whenever it's election in Africa, there is a state of emergency. That's how we should understand that there should be a normal life. They should combat poverty. They should deal even away with their issue of dual citizenship. I don't know whether you know many African leaders and countries. They can be Malagasy, but at the same time they want to be the French.
Yes. So now, looking at Madagascar, Madagascar is not there going into the elections tomorrow. On Sunday, the DRC, this is after 2 years of a delay between, President Joseph Kabila stepping down and, the final dates coming to the fore, and the candidates, presidential candidates. We've seen candidates who haven't been able to do their campaigning, and some candidates, Shadare, for instance, being able to access every province in the DRC. Correct, What's your take on that? I
can say DRC, as we are now counting down, the key issue that worries me, which I've said it before on the show, the election observer mission, our standard of elections. Yes, we have brought the voting tools now, the machines from Korea. The election observer mission, South Africa has been leading, has been critical on these observer missions. The AU and SADC are taking it lightly. We are talking about 50 to 60 million voters out of 80 million. You send only 100 election observers. Secondly, you have raised the issue of election campaign. Now, the mood is that it has been difficult for other opposition parties, and there is fraction now. Martin Fayula is now going alone. Vital Kamerhe, Tshisekedi, they are now going together. And then we have the challenge of Kabila saying that he is out of the side, but he is on the side.
Are we going to see a case of Russia with Putin and Medvedev,
no, correctly.
Prime Minister, President, and President, Prime Minister for a number of years?
Definitely.
Because he has stated that he is going to stay in politics.
Kabila says he will be active. He's only 47 years old. He might have the white beard, but he's still 47 years old. He's looking back to be in the Senate. He might come back, like you have raised the Vladimir Putin model of the Prime Minister. I think what is key, I've said it before again, the young people and the women in terms of leadership in that country. It is what is critical. They don't need to recycle leaders who are not wanted. Shadari is under EU sanctions. Shadari, he's an unknown figure. Tshisekedi, slightly, he was, one can say, he was not the real candidate, actually. Martin Fayula as well, he was against the voting machines. That is why he has got that.
Now there's a change there with Martin Fayula.
Correct.
Now saying that the voting machines can be used and he's comfortable with that.
I think what he's doing is a strategy now to say that let us allow them and then we will later lodge a dispute. You have the bannings of more than 7,000 to 8,000 of those voting machines,
yes,
but
just the other day.
even have more of those voting machines. The key challenge is that maybe Africa need to move away looking at the benefits of the ICT to say when we're using these voting gadgets, will they not repeat what happened in Kenya last year, where you have what we call voting machines generating results. I think that's where we should try to fix it. It will save the issue of stuffing of the ballot papers. But the concern of DRC, why do you have elections during the rainy season? It is raining all over Africa.
Do you think it's going to be free and fair elections?
The word free and fair is not in my vocab, my sister. Transparent, credible, legitimate, we do expect that. But I think it is up to the electorate, it is up to the electoral body to make sure that they are able to close down challenges during the day of election. Announcement of the results have to be quick, but at the same time have to go through electoral dispute process so that you have a fair outcome and allow even parties to go to court and avoid the civil war of 1998 in that country where we lost more than 6 million people.
Advocate Mantula, thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. That is Advocate Sipho Mantula joining us live in studio.